Basilica, you can see where the columns are. This would have been the theater where people would have been gathering, and you can imagine all the traffic that this would have brought. The upper level here being more like the Summit in Birmingham, where it was outdoor shopping, and then down below was similar to that of the Galleria. These very streets Paul would have walked and mingled amongst these people here who he would have ministered to, the Thessalonians. And I think one of the most interesting things that I just learned was that the whole concept of a city was really Greek in nature. And the Romans institutionalized the whole concept, this Greek concept of the city, where everything was communal now. This was apparently a bit of a foreign concept prior to this time period, the turn of the century. And so now everything from the baths to the toilets were public, and people did things together. And so this would have been the context in which Paul ministered, a true community. So let's go down and get some holy water. Now, John, do you know how to make holy water?
How do you make holy water?
You boil the hell out of it.
Da-dun.
All right, now this is it. This is like the well of life. Maybe it's gonna make my hair come back on my head. I don't know. Take away the wrinkles. Give me a New Zealand for life. Tether my step.
Don't waste it.
How do I look?
Well, you got a
my
little
hair coming back?
holy water in your beard.
Yeah. Wow,
Very
I feel
good.
good. I feel good. I feel holy. Is there a halo up here? Okay, it's January 6th and I'm here in Thessaloniki, Greece. Behind me is Alexander the Great. And the reason he was so great is because he had only about 10,000 men. And he conquered the known world as it was. In a sense, he had the Marines of his day. These are the actual spears that they would carry in the battle. You're not going to believe how big they are. I want to walk up so you can get a feel for the actual size. And here's the shields that they actually carry. Now this is my hand compared to the shield. Okay, we are here at the site of the Bereans. This is Paul behind me on the mural. And as he was preaching the word to this local community here in Berea, Greece. And he said the Bereans were of more noble character than the Thessalonians. Why? Because they searched the scriptures to see if what he said was true. Okay, so we're in Meteor, Greece right now. This is central Greece, and we're headed south towards Athens and Corinth. But behind me is what I believe is called St. Stephen's Monastery. There's 26 nuns that actually live up here. And as you can tell, living for God never looks so good. Now, you are in total isolation up here, so you don't have to worry about the heathen population. But I tell you, this is quite a haven, a safe ground, to say the least.
That's a good one.
I'll send my daughter here until she's mature enough of age. Make good decisions.
Private school on
What do you
steroids.
That's right. So here we are in St. Stephen's Monastery. This is the home of 26 nuns. It is called a nunnery here in Greece, not a convent. Why? Because we're in Greece and they would do what they like. But yes, monastery would be the appropriate term for where monks live, not a monkery. You know, I'm here at the nunnery. I know that not everybody's called to really be set apart and kind of live on a high hill, really separate from the rest of the world. Most of us are called to live in the world, but to not be of it. So in a sense, we too are called to be a city on a hill or a light to all the world. And as I'm reminded here, when I walked into the sanctuary, and it was a real eye-opener, because in the sanctuary, we were surrounded with iconic depiction of not only the saints and Christ himself and Mary, as we see in most Greek Orthodox sanctuaries, but what I saw in this one was really unique. It was the martyrs, and they covered all the walls with very graphic depictions of the great cost that Christianity was to so many people. And so for us today, I guess we need to count the costs as these nuns have. They've given up everything in their life to come and live truly, totally dedicated to God. I hope that we that are in the world, but not to be of it, can also live our lives in a sacrificial means where we give it all for the gospel. Okay, so what we have here is the Temple of Apollo, which would have been built in around 380 BC, and this is what it would have looked like in its heyday. And you'll notice that cauldron at the top of the temple there would have been the same thing the oracle at Delphi, which would have resided in the bottom of the temple, would have sat. Okay, so here we are at the actual rock that the oracle of Delphi would have given her prophecies at. This right here is where the cauldron would have been. It would have rested in this main center hole here and then supported by a tripod-like structure. And she would have sat in this while methane gas would have risen from the ground right here, which would have been very intoxicating to all people. And here it looks like a channel of water would have flown through where people could drink and become purified. So this is it right here. Talk about getting high, or better yet, getting low, because this very stone was found in the bottom of the temple right here. And this is where people would descend to go see the oracle at Delphi. Well, here we are in Olympia, Greece. Right here through this gateway is the original Olympic Stadium. These games started in 776 BC. Over 275,000 people would come to watch these games. And here we are, about to take our first look at the very stadium that started it all. Watch your step. So this is the Olympic race. Only first place counts. Okay. Congratulations. That's right, that's Olympic style. You're either first or you're the first loser. You heard it live at Olympia. Okay, so here we are at the Temple of Zeus. This would have been one of the 7 wonders of the world, and you can see behind me only one column still remains, but the actual statue of Zeus would have been nearly that tall. This is an amazing sight that we stand on, and it's just outside of the stadium, the Olympic Stadium here in Olympia, Greece, where the competitors would have come to have run and raced. And I was reading 1 Corinthians 9 this morning, and it really gave context and brought into life the very scriptures. If you look in chapter 9, the last 4 verses, you'll see that Paul says, "Do the competitors not discipline themselves to run in such a way to win the prize? But only one wins the prize. And so I discipline my body to run not for a perishable earthly wreath, but for the imperishable." And so here it is, the very words of Paul come into life in Olympia, Greece.